Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't like the music, tough. That was from Jensen Quinn, and it was Jensen Quinn's choice. So, yeah, fuck you all. Welcome to another Cat Stream. We do have a good show for us all today. I am here today with Jensen. So, how are you doing, Jensen, today?
I'm actually doing quite fine, thank you, sir. Nice to actually be back on stream with you again.
Yes, it has been quite a while, hasn't it? It has been quite a while. But all good things happen to those who wait.
Very true.
I would classify this as a good thing, generally. By the way, if people are worrying about why the lighting looks like I'm in a red light district or anything else like that, if I turn on my main light, you will see me as orange, and I do not want to trigger anybody that is liberal because Orange Man is bad, and I can't, knowingly do that on purpose.
And now we know the truth. Trump is actually CSG. He's been hiding his accent all this time.
Yeah, I'm not even going to attempt. I'm not even going to attempt to do a Trump impression.
Yeah, probably good. Though B has made a wonderful little comment. You look like you're in a fish tank.
Well, as long as I don't sound like I'm in a fish tank, that's all that matters.
Okay, sir.
I'm not bothered about being in the fish tank. Are we not all in our own little versions of fish tanks anyway? We all have our little enclosures that we stick to.
Actually, that's actually a fairly good point. We are in its own little way, and the way things are going with politics is these fish tanks are, just forming all on their own. People are joining them, and eventually we are going to get these fish tanks going to war with each other.
That's very true. You can quite easily see that. There's factions growing on the right, there's factions growing on the left, and by factions I mean groups that were in groups that are within groups that seem to be on the right or on the left that are fighting with the right or fighting with the left. The only thing that ends up joining all the groups on the right and all the groups on the left is fighting the opposite groups. And that's a worrying thought.
Yeah.
The fact is that everybody that is on opposite sides is also fighting against each other.
Yeah, that's why I actually suggested that tune. To me, that tune actually feels the way politics seems to be heading, and it worries me. It really does.
No, I actually completely not agree with you. I actually am very worried about how politics is going. I mean, we touch on quite a lot of different stories on today's show. We have quite a lot of things in general to be able to get through. But I do honestly think that with these stories, that it's going to show you it's going to show you the depths of the right, and it's going to show you the despair of the left. And the reason why I chose those terms for describing each the right and the left is simply that that's what I think it is. It is the despair of the left, because of the despair meaning that everything is so bad, so gloomy, everything's against them or against other people. And I can't even remember what the word was that I used for describing the right, to be fair.
Yeah.
But
You called it the depths.
the depths, yes. The reason why I would call the right the depths, or depths in general, is because even though the people on the right have so many different opposing views, you can be right wing when it comes to social policy. You could be right wing when it comes to economical policies in general. You could be right wing when it comes to the point of immigration. But because of those depths and the way that it actually pulls us apart inside the right wing in general, so to speak, the depths that destroy us also can bring us together. Because whenever we decide that we're going to fight against the left or to fight against each other, groups will always form and always defend those ideologies regardless. Because the only thing that's worse than fighting amongst ourselves to discuss anything else is fighting the people that are completely against all of your ideas. The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Sometimes, yeah.
Well,
Put that in.
well, I suppose so on that one, yes. I suppose so. No, right. I think. Right. No, beforehand, do you have anything to add at all, Mr. Quinn? As in, do you have anything to share or anything to put out for today or anything else like that at all? Because it's been a while since we've been together.
Very, very true. To be honest, the only thing that I would, in any way come close to shilling is the fact that for some strange reason, Mad Dodge Productions actually seems to like me running his show.
That's
And
because it's better.
Sorry, say again, sir?
That's because it's better under you than it is under Mad Dodge. Yeah, you prick, I said it.
Thank you very much, actually. That's very nice to hear, to be honest with you. But yeah, if you're crazy enough to want to hear me speaking about random things with a whole bunch of Americans, come and watch Mad Dodge Productions.
Or Quinn's production.
Yeah, that's the case. Very, very true.
Well, if that's what you wanted to get through or put forward for today, well, we'll carry on with the stories for today. And I want it to be said that I am not partisan in my politics. If this was a Labour MP, you can guarantee that everybody would be absolutely pulling their hair out and saying how much of a thief they are. And I just want to point out that I don't care if you're Labour or Tory in this instance. If you fucking try to falsify your expenses to get money out of the fucking general public, you're a cunt, regardless of politics.
Agreed.
So this Tory MP, Christopher Davis, charged with falsifying expenses invoices. The Crown Prosecution Service, yes, it had to go to trial, says it has charged Christopher Davis with 2 offences of making a false instrument. Yeah. I was just thinking of him stroking his ukulele at that point, but that's probably a bad reference.
Yes, that's why I was chuckling.
But it's amazing. I bet you that he hasn't been struck off because this is a criminal offence. It's the same thing with the Labour MP that obviously did the speeding ticket. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but it's the same thing with her. She committed a form of a criminality. She should no longer be able to represent her constituencies. Oh, sorry, her constituents. And this is the same thing for him. Anybody that's been convicted of falsifying expenses, if done on purpose, I do put that parentheses in there because sometimes it may be unfortunate or whatever, or not done on purpose. Let's be honest, most of the time it is, but just in case, if it's proved that they did it on purpose, then they shouldn't be in power because they were using their power to be able to make their lives better. The definition of corruption.
Agree completely. Simply put, people like this do not deserve to actually, and I use this next word loosely, serve their people, because At the end of the day, they're just there to scavenge money for themselves, not to actually help the people, which is, after all, what a politician should be doing.
By the way, if anybody was wondering what all those noises were, I have a lot of news stations that are all linked up to my phone, and apparently there's breaking news. And the breaking news. Oh yeah, R. Kelly's going to be facing 10 sexual abuse charges in America, and he has been charged. He's been charged with 10 counts. That's what the news alert was. He has been charged with 10 counts of. Let me just get this right. Criminal sexual abuse. So he has been charged. R. Kelly has been charged with 10 counts of sexual abuse.
Just for inquiry purposes, does it define what what kind of people? Okay, to be blunt, was it kiddies?
I imagine it was some form of case of pissing on somebody.
Okay, fair play.
I imagine. I mean, I haven't actually really had a look at it. Let me just quickly open it up. And unfortunately, I'm actually using Vice News, so this may not go very well. So I might as well hide what I'm doing. That way you can actually see what I'm actually doing rather than talking over R. Kelly's story on the original story. So, hi guys. Come back. God damn it. I hid it rather than actually stop sharing. Because I'm a boomer, everyone. So, hi guys. I'm back. Hi.
Hey, back.
So R. Kelly charged with 10 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse report. The spat of allegation against the singer has gained renewed attention due to recent release of the Lifetime documentary series Surviving R. Kelly. So all of this has come from a documentary service and a documentary against it. So officials in Chicago have charged singer R. Kelly with 10 counts of criminal sexual abuse, the Chicago Times and the Chicago Tribune reports Friday, citing court records. R. Kelly has faced sexual allegations for years, including running a sex cult. Yeah, that's come up. Apparently, he was running a sex cult. The allegations, many involving underage girls,
and there it is.
Yeah, have gained renewed attention because of the recent release of the Lifetime documentary series Surviving R. Kelly. So a good thing that the fucking media has done and did. So I think that we can all be happy with that. They've actually done this and done their fucking job for a change. So well done on that one. I may do a video on this just to get things through, or I may cover it on another live stream. I believe that somebody is asking me to bring back my Sunday show, so I might bring this back on the Sunday. I don't know. It depends if she wants to get back in touch with me or not. Yes, that's to you, B. Fucking ring me. Ring me, goddammit. Ring me.
Notice me, senpai.
Yes, notice me, senpai. Notice me. I'm worthy. Honest, I'm worthy. Oh, back to this pile of shit.
Yeah.
So it's not as exciting as the paedophile story from R. Kelly, and admittedly, but it's a story that still proves corruption and at the highest level. So it is worth covering. So, carrying on, Conservative MP Christopher Davis has been charged with falsifying 2 expenses invoices. So, the Crown Prosecution Service said it had received a file of evidence from the Metropolitan Police in November. It related to an allegation that Christopher Davis, MP for Bracken and Radnorshire, fuck me, that was hard, falsified 2 invoices in support of parliamentary expenses claims. It added, following a review of the evidence, the CPS has today charged Mr. Davis with 2 offences of making a forced instrument and 1 offence of providing false or misleading information for allowance claims. So, obviously people are wondering why we're doing this story. It's the fact that he has abused his power. Which I think, if you look at the stories that we've got lined up, I think you're going to see a recurring theme for tonight of people in powers and positions of power or privilege abusing the power that they have to falsify narratives for themselves. But we'll see how that goes.
There are subtle clues. They may just spot them if they look carefully.
Exactly. I mean, we could go into that story a little bit more, but I don't really see that there's much of a point going further in the story. We kind of understand he's used expenses to be able to get more money off of the system, which is paid for by taxes anyway. Same as his salary is paid also by fucking taxes, and still wants to abuse the system that he's so rightly wanted to serve and protect and uphold. Whether he's Conservative or fucking Labour, he should be struck off from ever being an MP ever again by proving the fact that he is corruptible. Doesn't matter what the level of corruptibility is, it's the fact that he is corruptible.
I completely agree with you. People like that actually disgust me. I mean, they fight to become politicians, and one of the whole point of the politician is that they are there to help the city or town or whatever that they are supposed to be politician for. And all they're at the end of the day, all they're doing is trying to grab at the public trough and acquire as much money as they can. I
No,
take back
you were right the first time stealing.
Okay.
Let's call a goose rather than trying to call it a spade. Because that's what he was. He was literally stealing off of the people.
Yeah.
And I just realized my hair on the stream again.
In all fairness, people like that not only need to be struck off as politicians, they actually should be publicly shamed. Something like that would actually really make a difference. Okay, I'm not saying we should bring back stocks and throwing of rotten tomatoes, though. I'm honest, I'm not against the idea. But, public shaming does actually have its benefits.
Well, I do agree with you, actually, to be fair. I think that people like him, whether they're Labour, Lib Dems, Tories, or just councillors in general at any level of parliamentarian structure, should be, or governmental structure, should I say, rather than parliamentarian, but governmental structure, should, if they are seen abusing their power, whatever power it may be, should be put forward in front of in front of the House, as in the House of Lords and in the Houses of Parliament, and should be explained why they are being struck off. And it should be a media news story. It should be covered by the media. Because let's be honest, anybody at any level of government power or structure that is doing this is abusing their power. Now, if they can abuse their power when it comes to the point of just expenses, it's not much of a slippery slope to then ask, well, what else have they been proven to be corruptible on that hasn't come to light yet?
Agreed completely. You do start to wonder with, what some of these people get up to. But, I don't want to try and, directly place blame on anybody, but corruption does need to be stamped out. And sometimes you stamp really hard.
Yes, but I absolutely, completely not agree with that. It's the same thing with people that say that police officers should be held at a higher accountability than any other profession, the same as professional drivers should be held more accountable than normal drivers, because it's their profession, it's their job, that's what they're supposed to be there for. So if we equate that to this, then it should be the same thing. They have been elected to serve their nation in any way that they can do or do. So that means that if they are found being corruptible or criminality that has been put forward towards them and they have been proven to have done this, then they need to be shown for what they are. And they should be held at a higher accountability standard than anybody else, for whatever the crime may be.
Agree. And to be honest, they want to be thankful it's not back in King Henry's time, because after all, corruption back then was dealt with by the subtle application of an axe to the back of the neck.
Well, yes, I think that would be maybe a little bit too far, but I can see where you're going.
You got to admit, stop to the corruption. You know,
I think that the corruption just didn't get caught as much. I mean, I think as human beings that we're always going to be fallible towards corruption because we're always selfish beings. I don't think any civilization anywhere would ever get rid of corruption as a whole or even as a small entity. It will always be there. The point is, how do you stop people in power using their power to be abused? And the way you do that is stripping them of their power.
agree, completely agree.
Right. Do you have anything else to add to this story, or does any of the chat have anything? Oh, let's be honest, the chat doesn't really care.
The chat is doing the hellos currently, so we've got, you know, good night, John Boy, good night, Grandpa, and all that lot going on. But with this person, I actually hope the full weight of the law lands on him, and he learns to regret his actions.
Yeah. I mean, the way that you know that the system's broken, and I'll bring up the Labour MP. I can't remember her name. She's actually serving time for her misdemeanor. She's actually serving time for it.
Good.
And she's actually serving her constituent and her constituents in general while she's in prison.
Okay. A bit of respect for that then. Okay, good girl.
I
Okay.
don't have respect for that, and I know that you're being facetious. I know that you're taking the piss. I know that you're taking the piss with that, but I just don't see how that if somebody is been proven to be a criminal, regardless of their governmental position. Let's put it this way. Let's say that Theresa May has been proven to do something completely and utterly wrong. Under this system, the way that the system is, she would be able to serve as Prime Minister until she's been dethroned by the parliamentary service. Not the fact that she's been put into prison, but, you know, the vote of no confidences and everything else like that goes through Parliament. She would still be Prime Minister until they were able to arrange that.
Oh, wow. Could you imagine that?
Exactly.
That Prime Minister in prison. That would be, yeah, that would be humiliating for our country. Let's be blunt.
Well, I wasn't going for the idea of humiliation. I was going more to the point of proving that the system in itself is broken. That if, say, for instance, that Theresa May was found fallible for points of corruption, as in being, let's say, she was being paid off by the EU as a conspiracy theory, and completely throwing that out there with no justification or evidence whatsoever, just using it as an example. Let's say that she was being paid off by the EU, and let's say that somebody found out and it was proven. She could still be serving as Prime Minister while the accusations are going on, why the fact of her actually being prosecuted for it, why the fact of her actually going through court and then being sentenced. She could then serve as Prime Minister while in prison until the parliamentary service decided that they were going to have a vote of no confidence.
Wow. Good God, that I'm sorry, that actually is appalling. That really is. The fact that we would actually allow something like that to exist. My God, they really need to change the rule on that. You know, that is a joke. Okay,
yeah.
That's all I can say about it. That is a joke,
and it's not a funny one. Sorry,
no.
I had to throw that in there.
So he has actually put forth a little comment, which actually I think needs to be said. Let's face it, we're still waiting for Blair to be thrown in prison, and I agree with that too.
Yeah, we're still waiting for Bush to be thrown into prison as well. The thing is with those type of people, as much as I would want them to go into prison, and as much as I really fancy them to go into prison and everything else like that, or at least have an actual court case with actual fucking evidence being brought up, and not some monkey tribunal that can't fucking do anything and can't have any evidence of what happened under his administration or not. Try and have a look at this, but yeah. The thing is with Blair and Bush, they will never, ever be able to go to prison or even have a fair trial. The reason why is because of the backers and who they're friends with.
Yes.
That's simple.
It is literally all about who you know, isn't it? Oh
Yeah,
dear.
it's a life lesson. Unfortunately, it is a life lesson. It's not what you know; it's who you know, and that's always been the case with everybody. It's not what you know; it's who you know. If you know a mechanical friend, then you can wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and get that MOT passed a little bit sharpish without worrying about the emissions. Or you could get a job as an apprentice and not actually do fuck all. You can do that type of thing. Where if you don't know the mechanic and you want to become a mechanic, guess what? You're going to have to pay your way or trying to work up your way as best as you can.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. Unfortunately, it's just the way that life is. Oh, speaking of life and Twitter and fucking everything else like that, I recently did a video about Rachel Riley about all the abuse that she was receiving online. Now, she is not taking Twitter to court. I would like to point this out before we go through the story. She is not suing Twitter and she's not suing people for saying bad things towards her. We'll get into the actual story, but she is actually suing the people that are harassing her. This is how the law and how the laws that are already in place are there to be able to defend people that are being harassed and being stalked and whatever. This is the right way of dealing with it if it goes to that far, where everybody's saying that we need police for hate crimes and fucking whatever. Rachel Riley and Tracy Anna Odderman are literally doing what is there already, proving the fact that we do not need to change our legal system and have cybernized police officers. Because let's be honest, that's what they are. They're having people actually monitor Twitter, Facebook, and social media accounts, where instead of doing that, they could literally have those people who are monitoring that on the streets.
Yeah, where the crime, I mean the true crimes actually occur, actually out there saving people from harm, not just having their fifis hurt.
Even with the case of having their fifis hurt, or in this case, having actual abuse and everything else like that being thrown upon her, which she's actually mainly going for the abuse of slander laws, actually, to be fair, is her main case. But that's the point. She's took all the screenshots, she's gathered the evidence, and she's going to civil court to be able to prove the fact that these people have done this. That's what the law's there for.
Yeah, actually, actually, that's reasonable. In all fairness, punish those that are actually committing the crimes. And again, I'm still going to go with the public acknowledgement of the people that are doing it. This way, they are publicly shamed for their actions. Unfortunately, nowadays, shame just doesn't seem to be in the vocabulary of most people. They actually take it as a form of respect, which is wrong, but that is the way people have become nowadays.
Well, even worse with the way that people have become. There was a particular person that got punched by somebody at Berkeley University, obviously in the States. And so many people have been praising the person who got praising the person who was doing the punching, because guess what? The person who was doing the punching was a liberal that was apparently punching somebody who supported Donald Trump.
Of course it was. What a surprise.
But if you ask the question, why can't I punch liberals? Then apparently you're a bigoted asshole and you're an absolute wanker for even asking that question.
We're back to the old double standards problem.
Or, well, I think the old additives is if the left had any standards, it would be no standards.
Yeah, I'd love to try and disagree there, but you're right, dude. It's not a good world we live in nowadays, and I know I say this often, but when people ask why it is, I think humanity needs to be removed.
The views expressed in this stream are not necessarily condoned or accepted by the common sense guy.
No. I fully accept that this is my view, and if people would like to discuss it, they are welcome to message me, and I will explain precisely why humanity is a virus on this planet.
I will put Jensen Quinn's Twitter handle in the description box below.
Oh, Go for it, mate. I'm cool with that. I really am.
No, I'm joking anyway, because everybody should be entitled to have an opinion, regardless of what the opinion is. The thing is, as you quite rightly were pointing out, is the fact of so many people now are resorting to violence rather than the idea of actually debating. And this is for the right and the left. This is not necessarily just a left issue, and it's not just a right issue. It is the right-left paradigm. The further left you go, the more violent they get. The further right you go, the more violent they get. So it's not either or, it's both on this instance. So the more further left or right you go, the more violent that they seem to be, because they do not want to talk about what the issues are and be proven wrong. Now, this goes on both sides again, that the right doesn't want to be proven wrong, so they physically attack you, and the left don't want to be proven wrong, so they physically attack you as well. And this is the problem that we now have. Not because it's a freedom of speech issue, not because it's the idea that, oh, well, you should be able to defend yourself. None of those issues at all. It is now all to do with, if I politically disagree with you, regardless of what paradigm that you're on, I can physically attack you. And in some circles, that is now going to be accepted. I'd just like to point out that it is not accepted here. But in some circles, it fucking is. And that's ridiculous. That's not how political discourse or discourse happens at all, and should never be accepted.
Sounds very much like we're going back to the old days of might makes right.
Well, the thing is with both the left and the right is that the more right you go, the more authoritarian that they want to be. The more left you go, the more government and more governmental powers that they want to be. Now, you could argue that it's a horseshoe theory. You could argue it. I'm not going to. At this moment in time, I don't see the point in it. But you could say that both sections would end up being authoritarian. Now, you could argue that some of them might even go to totalitarianism, but that's besides the point. The point is that if you go to either side of the left or the right, eventually you get into the aspect of, I want to make sure that the government controls us in one way or another. Not a government, but their government. And with their government, that means that you can't go against them, because if their government is in control, they are the ones that are able to censor you. Because remember, both the right and the left, at both ends of the spectrum, like to censor people that have opposing views.
Yes, people. No, I'll drop that there because, again, I can go off on a slightly worrying rant when it comes to people and the way to deal with this. And I will freely admit the word genocide will probably pop up in that sentence. And I don't particularly want to damage your stream, sir.
Nah, it's fucked anyway. I will take your lead and I will carry on with the story, because that's apparently what we're here for. Yeah. So the Countdown presenter, Rachel Riley, and former EastEnders actor Tracy Anna Alderman, which, by the way, I have no idea who she played, so everybody can fuck off with that one, are preparing legal action against up to 70 individuals for tweets relating to their campaign against anti-Semitism in the Labour Party. Now, this is why I did the video for Rachel Riley in general, apart from how fit that she is. I wanted to white knight for her as well. Notice me, senpai. But apart from all that crap, it was more of a case of she was pointing out anti-Semitism in the Labour Party. And she was getting completely and utterly ridiculed by the people in the Labour Party for calling out the discrimination and oppression of peoples inside the Labour Party. As I said before, if the left had any standards, it would be no standards, because otherwise it's completely hypocritical. Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, I've used that term more than a few times when describing the way things are going. Quite simply, if you don't agree with me, you're the enemy, therefore I can do whatever I want to you.
Yeah.
Oh, what a wonderful world we live in.
Yep, and it's only getting worse.
It won't be long before people are actually starting to agree with my whole human genocide. It really won't.
Well, some people probably already do. But Mark Lewis, who made his name representing phone hacking victims, said he is he is contacting people who have either posted allegedly libelous claims about his clients or repeatedly sent him large numbers of messages, which he says is tantamount to harassment. So again, the reason why I pulled this story up was not because it was another celebrity taking other people to court because they said mean words. It was actually using the laws that are already paramount in our society and already into our legislation and legislators cannot change to actually be able to protect yourself while you're online from the online trolls apparently that are there. Though to be fair, this isn't a story to do with trolls. This is actually stories to do with people that are literally telling lies about you, as in saying that you're not actually Russian or you're not actually Jewish. And obviously I'm talking about Rachel Riley on that aspect.
Yeah.
And just going across all of that. And the fact of being literally harassment, as in paramount to lots of messages going to the same person for the same reason, is the definition of harassment. So the reason why I did pick this story up was because it's the law acting as the law should do without having any police officers deciding that you're guilty.
Yeah. Point, actually. Well, as B has pointed out, why don't they just delete Twitter? The basic idea of just deleting the use of Twitter is reasonable, but then again, you would then be giving in to the trolls, etc. And by deplatforming yourself from things like that, it's taking away your chance to actually get your free speech out there. And yes, I know that's more of an American term, but let's be fair. Even though Britain doesn't have a constitution, we still respect the basic concept of free speech, or at least we argue that we should have it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with your last part, but the first part I kind of disagree, and I disagree with B's point as well. And the reason why I do disagree is for the same reason as I will disagree with what YouTube are doing with. We'll get into that story later, but the reason why I disagree with your points is because it's for this reason, this exact story's reason. The people that are committing the harassment, that are committing the libelous actions, have a paper trail. If you take screenshots of all of these people that are doing this and how often they are doing it, it is paper trail and forms of evidence of them doing it. That means that they can then be arrested, they can then be tried, and then they could go to prison because of the evidence you've gathered. If you take away Twitter, you no longer have the evidence.
I see where you're going with that, actually. Yeah. All right. I agree with you there.
Yay, agree. But no, that's the same thing as I would agree with most people. I mean, I think the thing with freedom of speech is that, yes, it's your right and your obligation or freedom of expression to be able to go and write these things. But freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom from, oh, fuck. That went well. You'd think that English was my first language. Apparently it's not.
Just go with random gibberish. It's a good language to go with, to be fair.
Yes, random gibberish is definitely a good language to go with. And I completely lost my train of thought because I'm trying to scratch my itchy foot, apparently. So, with that being said, I suppose I better move on.
Yeah. This is the universe telling you to move on, I would say.
Apparently. I mean, for me, the stories like this make me feel happy with the laws that we already have. Not because I think that the laws doesn't need to change, but it proves the fact that it can be used to people's advantage without specific people going out of their way to monitor everything like the Ministry of Truth, which we will get into later on with Anna Salisbury's fucking interview with BBC Three.
Mm-hmm.
We will get into that. That's going to be very, very fucking interesting. But besides that point, I think that we do actually need to track evidence down, and social media can be used as a form of evidence.
Yes. No, I would agree with you there. I think the point, and again, I'm only doing this based on what I believe she was meaning. And let's be honest, we know her; she'll tell us when I'm wrong. So I'm waiting. or wrong, just to start the sentence. But I think what she's saying is, if these people are actually pissing you off that much, then just don't go to places where they are actually saying these things. The problem is at that point you are deplatforming yourself, which does allow them to win. Whereas, yeah, you get the evidence, give it to the police, and the police finally do their goddamn job and actually arrest these people.
Yeah.
Then it's a success.
Yeah, no, I completely not agree with that. The thing is with this story itself, with Rachel Riley and Odderman as well, this story can give so much hope for people that are being bullied online by school kids, and by that I mean other school kids. Because the reason why this can work is because it will be a precedent. So if they win, then that means that people that can also do this with children that are literally verbally berating them online and telling them to go kill themselves or whatever. It's stories like this that can actually be able to form evidence, give evidence trails, and then be able to give that evidence to the police, and then it can actually help normal people. That's the reason why I picked the story. Because it can already be done where you can look after yourself online legally. There are legal laws in place that you can use to be able to defend yourself, regardless of obviously just turning everything off. But you still have to deal with those people in real life eventually.
True. Yeah, yeah. Oh, well, again, we're back to my genocide of humanity. But, stepping away from that. Come on. You got to admit, the genocide of humanity would deal with so many problems.
I can neither confirm nor deny that. Thank you very much, ladies and gents, for bearing with me on that. I need some energy because my brain stopped working. So thank you for that. Does anybody else have anything else to add? And by the way, it's very nice seeing Susie Monkey back in the chat. I haven't seen you for a very, very long time. I think it's very interesting with a lot of the people's take on this, that it's not a case of the platforms that need to be deleted, it's necessarily the people that are using them, which I do agree with you. That could be something that you could throw into law or legislation. You could quite easily put that in if it isn't already. So I agree with most of the people out there, and I agree with what I already said, that you can use this as evidence and evidence building and actually getting there. So completely and utterly agree with almost everybody in the chat. And vote
B. Don't agree with B, it's easier.
I can't really say that if I'm going to be starting to show up with her again on Sundays. As long as she gets contact with me and rings me. Ring me. Sorry. I suppose we better carry on. Do you have any other anything to add to this story before I move on, or would you like me to just move on?
The only thing I would add to it is people need to understand that they should actually take screenshots of this. Don't just ignore it. Where I'm going to agree with B, it's either take the screenshots and actually report them, or step away from the platform that's causing you such a headache. Don't do nothing. That's the important thing I would suggest. Actually stand up and do something, whether it be just deleting Twitter or contacting the police. It's when you don't do anything, that's when they just get away with, well, up to murder, quite simply, or at least, suicide, because after all, you can end up being forced to get so depressed that you commit suicide. While it wasn't them that actually killed you, their actions caused the depression that actually put you into that point. These people should be punished.
Yeah, no, I agree. I completely agree, especially when it comes to the bullies online as well. And by bullies, I mean not people that say some mean things to you because they disagree with your point of view. I mean campaigns that are literally devised against you for months on end because they know you from school and dislike you from school. I mean those type of bullies. I mean the bullies that are literally are waiting for you day in, day out. There is no, I use this term lightly, but in the actual proper psychiatric term for it, not in the left-wing term of it, but an actual safe space for you to regress to. Because that's what most people would do on the computer, to go into their own sort of world, to be escapism, to do everything that they need to escape from the realities of the real world. Me personally, that's kind of what I do. It's why I got into the communities that I have been into and whatnot. And me personally, I honestly do think that this needs to be monitored a hell of a lot. But I don't think government can monitor everybody. So it has to be us that defends ourselves. And I think people are losing that aspect in life where they think that government should be the ones that are defending you, not you defending yourself.
Yeah, that is, after all, one of the reasons we have a government. That is part of their thing. They are meant to actually look after us.
Yeah. They are meant to look after us, yes, but when it comes to things, I wouldn't say trivial, but when it comes when one human being is going after another human being, it should be that human being's right to be able to defend themselves. And we're losing that right. We're losing that instance in ourselves to defend ourselves. We go running and want the government to look after us, regardless of what the situation is. We're so used to mummy's purse strings that we don't want to cut them away to look after ourselves.
Yeah, it's a shame. Whatever happened to people looking after themselves, eh? Those were the days. God, I sound old.
That's because you are.
Hey, there's the dude older than me. Thank you.
Oh, this is going to be an interesting story. So, Google admits error, apparently it's an error, over hidden microphone. I wonder what this is from. You think it's Alexa? You think it's something to do with that? No, nothing to do with that. No. Google has acknowledged that it made an error in not disclosing that one of its home alarm products contained a microphone. Yes, you heard that correctly. A home alarm product.
Wow. Okay, that I was not expecting. I'll admit that freely.
So apparently the product specifications for the Nest Guard, available since 2017, so roughly a year and a half or 2 years, depending if you want to get pedantic on the numbers, had made no mention of the listing device. In other words, the actual microphone. But earlier this month, the firm said a software update would make Nest Guard voice controlled. And they wondered why people become suspicious of how that would work.
Wow. Okay. Big Brother is watching you, yes, and he's also listening to everything you say. Have a nice day.
Well, that's pretty much the whole fucking story, to be fair. I completely don't really agree with you on that one. It's more of a case on this aspect that Google put out a product, didn't tell you there was a microphone in it, so you set it up and had everything else that's there, and God knows what you've been doing in your rooms or your bedrooms or anything that, or whatever, banking, whatever, that has a microphone in it, which they say they never turned on. They say they never turned on.
And of course, we believe everything they tell us because we're good little drones.
Apparently
oh, wow.
So. Yeah. Apparently so. Apparently so. It's amazing. It's amazing that so many people that will look at Google. I mean, I've been looking at Google for a while. Well, I say for a while now. I've only been looking at them since Sharati actually pointed out the butterfly situation that was going on with them as well. And I've been looking at them and what they've been doing around the world. They're not a great company. They are full of hypocrisies and full of limelight or gaslighting. They're full of complete and hypothetical situations where they completely counteract each other and contradict each other. It's Amazing. The level of Google deciding that they are going to build for a particular government what was it? An app where you could report people for blasphemy, and because of the report that you've done for blasphemy, they will get sent to prison because of the app, not because of the police proving that they've done it right. By
That's
the way, that's in
just
Indonesia. By the way, that's in Indonesia. But the thing is, though, it was approved by Google in its division, and that division would have to have gone to the world division for its division to be approved, meaning that the world division approved of what the local division was going to do.
Yeah, I feel safe using all my electronics now. I can't see why anything could possibly go wrong.
Never. It's just a conspiracy theory.
Yeah. Yeah, be careful with those. Google don't like those either. But
Yeah, that's why I didn't put that in the toolbar.
Yeah. No, the thing is it means that it is no longer actually safe to discuss things in your house. There is no real privacy out there anymore. I mean, honestly, that is appalling. How can these people be allowed to get away with this? And the worst thing is they will get away with it.
Oh yeah, they will. How do you prove that the microphone was actually being used without subpoenaing their records? You can't.
Yeah, and it's not like Google and Alphabet are rather well known for refusing to go along with subpoenas and things. I mean,
They just move offices from a different country. Oh, so the UK, you want to subpoena us? Yeah, our main office is in America. Oh, fuck, America want to subpoena us? Well, we're going to Chile.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's wrong. Head offices, head offices really. There needs to be accountability for the actions that they're doing. They are getting away with an absolutely ridiculous amount of things, and nobody can stop them.
No, it's true. They can't. I mean, I'll go on to a quick point. Google as well. I've done a couple of live streams where Google themselves have been proven to be rewriting history because of laws that have now been passed. And by that, I mean what the EU has made to be done about the Privacy Act, where basically Google have accepted from different countries that if, for instance, that you were, I don't know, went bankrupt in 2006, for instance, and you decided that you were going to sell your house because you owned it because of your bankruptcy, you could then go to Google and then say that you want that history deleted because it affects the fact that your businesses will now look back when they Google your name to show that you've become bankrupt, and it hinders your relationship with your new business.
Yeah,
That's how easy it is. That's how easy it is to get rid of history now.
I've heard about this. There is apparently a thing that you can actually request to disappear off of electronic files and things. Now, unfortunately, I can't actually give you that much more detail than that. But I do remember actually talking about this with a few people. So, wow, you can literally get away with anything.
Well, when I was talking about this with Crumple Point when we did the stream, I can't remember the name of the stream, but when we were talking about this with Crumple Point, I brought up the fact of, well, somebody like George Soros, if he so choose, could go to the fact of him not helping the Nazis in Germany to sell out other Jews, and he could get rid of that because you know why? Because it hinders his relationship with his new businesses, and it also hinders his relationship with the general public because it paints him in a bad light to what he is now. That could be erased from history because somebody asked for it.
B has just said it's the right to be forgotten. We spoke about it. Sorry, B, I couldn't remember who I spoke about it with. I just knew I had.
Yeah. But that's the thing that I was saying. It is the right to be forgotten. That's the same thing as what we were talking. What I was talking about. What we're talking about now. It's the fact that you have that right. Apparently, that's amazing. That history can literally be taken away in strips because it wasn't in the best frame of mind. Maybe Jesse Smollett in a couple of years or 10 years time can get what he's done now completely deleted off of Google so he can disappear and be quiet again, or because it affects his work ethic. Can you imagine that? And how many people may have or may not already have used it to be forgotten?
Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder what they wanted forgotten about if they were that concerned about it. Because that's not something you do just, lightly. It's something that you would do for something that is actually a direct threat to you and or your lifestyle. So, oh boy, it does make you wonder what has been forgotten. Of course, that's assuming that Google doesn't have all of it on file for later use at some point. Not that I'm suggesting that Google would ever do that, of course.
Of course. Why do you think that Google was able to get past different governments? Think of how many computers would be linked up on the internet with Google or Chrome, and how much information they would be able to cipher from just using an email service, Gmail.
Fair play. B points out she doesn't think it applies to criminal records because apparently that's actually. I'm so glad you're using the word "yet." I've been trying to get other people to use that word a lot more because I feel that it applies to things.
Of course it does. Of course it does. Of course it will apply to things that are criminal. Because if you're going to the point of being able to delete a bankruptcy and delete the fact that you had to sell your house due to bankruptcy, which was the actual story I was talking about and the original story I broke with, it would be a case of that you could extrapolate that to the same reasoning, as in, can you delete the fact that I went to prison because it's hindering me the opportunity of being able to work? It's not that much of a stretch to think or to accomplish.
No, it's not actually, is it? That's not good. Oh boy, suddenly the whole "do you have a criminal record" thing.
Let me just ask you.
Yeah, not necessarily the greatest of plans.
Mm.
Though, in all fairness, one of the most entertaining thing to do with things like Alexa, etc., is actually turn around and ask Alexa, "Is the FBI listening to me?" It has a habit of just shutting down and not answering.
That's because it's asking the wrong question. It should be, is the CIA listening to me?
True.
Or NSA. If you're outside of the US, use NSA.
I think MC would probably be sitting there chuckling at this, pointing out that we don't actually listen to everything you say. You're not that interesting.
Yeah, I know. We're not. But the point is that anything that can be used for the smaller people can be used for political people. Let's say, for instance, that somebody wanted to follow what Nigel Farage was doing before Brexit and then was able to get him silenced because of overhearing a form of scandal. Would Brexit have happened?
That's a bloody good question, actually. Worrying as well.
Yes.
But as has been said on many occasions, everything on the internet is there forever. Accept it and deal with it.
Everything's not on there for the internet if Google deletes it or the internet providers delete it.
Oh no, actually told us he's recorded it all, so he knows everything we've said. You're in trouble, mate.
What have I done now? What have I done now? It was Jensen that was calling for suicide. Genocide. I just agreed. I didn't agree with him. Damn it.
By the way, apparently using the word suicide in the stream actually gets you demonetized automatically now. So you might want to
Oh
be
well,
careful.
that's been fucked then.
Just thought I'd let you know. I probably should have said it off stream, but well, at least now you know for other streams.
Yeah, well, it's not like I make any money anyway.
Okay.
Oh, it's not. I don't make any money off of this. I do this because I love telling people what I think, because I'm that much of a narcissist.
Do you know what? You have to be a narcissist to go and actually put your opinion out there for people all around the world to listen to. And I know you might say, well, it's not like you're going to get everywhere in the world. Actually, you'll be surprised exactly how far people actually listen to some of the things you do. The
Well,
analytics can be quite fascinating to look at.
I've shown you my analytics before, and
Yep.
what mine's reached from my little channel for the videos that I've been able to put out. Not saying that I'm massive in any of these countries, but what I've actually been able to reach people in certain countries: Canada, America, Brazil, Chile, a couple of other South American countries, Greenland, Finland, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, most of Europe, Russia, a couple of countries in the Middle East, Australia, the Philippines, and a couple of countries in the continent of Africa. And that's just my channel with over 500 subscribers at the time.
Wow. Well, at least you've actually now confirmed that Vladimir Putin is one of your subscribers and listens to what we say. Good to know.
Me and Vlad are on really good terms. We wrestle bears together.
No, let's be fair. What you mean is you wrestle naked. But let's not say this on stream. It'll probably disturb
I did say
people.
bear. I just meant naked. I didn't. Did what? Did you think I meant a fucking grizzly?
That would be kind of fascinatingly foolish, it has to be said.
Yeah, I'm not fighting a grizzly.
You're a bit too big and hairy for you, is what you're trying to put across there. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Oh,
I'm not sure if it's too big and hairy.
so apparently B would like pics of you wrestling naked with Vladimir Putin.
No, because then that confirms that the actual story happened, and me and Vlad have a disclosure agreement.
Ah, oops.
In other words, me and KGB will kill me if I. Oh shit!
You're not allowed to say KGB anymore. It's FSB.
Yeah. But the KGB.
Dude, I completely agree. They can change their name, but they haven't changed what they do.
Yeah. Yep.
It is what. But back to the story. I mean, how terrifying. The microphone, yeah, cool.
Oh, right, yeah. Google.
Yep. How terrifying is it? They basically may well be listening to everything you say, and there is absolutely no way of confirming it. I mean, after all, they deny it was even activated. Good gods. Though then again, there is a rumor, and I would like it noted it is a rumor. I do not know if this is true, but apparently, if you actually speak directly at your computer straight into the microphone, even when you're not live streaming or anything like that, it actually picks up certain words. Someone was apparently, if I remember correctly, a person was saying that they needed to pick up some more milk, literally just the wife talking to the husband, and then suddenly there was a whole bunch of ads started flooding their screen about various milk products.
Ah, the good old soy jerk. Sorry, I couldn't help myself there. No, but you're absolutely bloody correct. It's interesting to me that, especially with socialists, and I put this out there more because they're the ones who are supposed to be the more interested in what's going on with corporations. When you talk to socialists about Google and about the acts and work that Google do and whatnot, not all of them, because obviously hashtag not all, But most of them will say that Google is a good progressive company that wouldn't do anything to hurt civilizations or the country or people in general. And that's just not true. It's just
No,
not true at all. Google do not give a crap about people. As I said before, with the fact of being able to put in an application for Indonesians to be able to post if you are being blasphemy that has a direct link to the Indonesian government so that they can pick you up straight away, just proves the fact that they are not for free speech. They're not for the protection of the consumer or the person. They are there solely to sell things, regardless.
it's all about the money. Follow the link to the money. I mean, can you imagine if in America that something like that was brought out based on, oh, I don't know, supporting Trump? If you could actually report things like that in, oh
I'm sure
my
the left
God.
already has devised an idea for that.
Oh dear Lord, I was actually hoping that wasn't the case, but yeah, I should have
Well, it's
expected it.
legacy media. Just think about it. The whole media section will just produce story after story that is not necessarily provable to try and prove Donald Trump as a bigot, racist, homophobe, or whatever. And even the
Yeah.
stories that are true are labeled that it is Trump's fault that these people are the way that they are, even though ideologies are formed over years upon years of internal thinking and struggle. But it's Trump's fault.
Well, let's be fair. Trump wiped out the dinosaurs. He
He
probably
did.
supported Hitler.
He did
So,
support.
yeah, the man is obviously evil. And no, let's be completely honest. I can't even continue taking the mickey with that. It's getting ridiculous the way things have become with this.
Never.
I'm not exactly Trump's greatest fan. I will admit this freely. I have my own opinions on the gentleman, but
Oh, he's a cunt. He's a complete and utter selfish, narcissistical cunt that just thinks that he's the best at bloody everything and has gone bankrupt 3 times. He's not a great person. But yeah, he's still better than Hillary Clinton.
that part I do not disagree with whatsoever. My God, how I'm actually scared how America would have become if she'd have actually become president. That would be a truly terrifying state to live in. People like to take the mickey out of 1984. Well, congratulations. I would not be surprised if she thought it was an instruction manual, not a story.
Well, you can have a look at Obama on that one and the fact that it has been proven, by the way, that they did tap Donald Trump's phone during the election. That's from Obama and Hillary Clinton.
That sounds nice and fair, doesn't it?
Well, let's look at Obama's practices as well. The president that was for the legacy media, but anybody that ever spoke out against him was subpoenaed and told not to be able to go forward with any of the stories. In fact, he would actually fire whistleblowers and stop them from being able to speak out about what's going on in his government. But he's freedom of speech, where Donald Trump isn't.
I'm seeing a certain two-facedness there. Maybe it's just me, but you're spotting it too, aren't you?
I don't know what you're on about. I don't know what you're on about. Orange man bad. Orange man bad. Meh. Orange man bad.
Yes, the chip they put in your head is still working. Good to know. Good to know.
I'm trying to grow my hair out so it gets the chip out.
That explains why sometimes your hair gets a little bit wild where it gets stuck under the microchip. Well, okay. Then again,
Well,
I mean,
it generally gets wild because people are fucking idiots.
yes, yes. Not going to mention dicks. Whoops.
Oh, don't give him promotion. By the way, we
Yeah.
will be talking to him probably in the next month or two, and it will be on socialism. So thank you for that plug there.
I try to help when I can. But
Yeah.
people ask me why it is I refuse to have anything to do with mobile phones. Simply put, if back in the 90s you asked people to carry around a tracking device that can listen and see everything you're doing. Would you mind doing that, please? Most people would go, no, get the hell out of here. Nowadays, they're paying several £100 just to be able.
Thousands.
God. Okay, that's that.
Both iPhones and Samsungs that are now new coming out are over £1,000 each, depending on what model you get.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Yeah. I'm sorry for stuttering there, but I don't actually know what to say to that. That's ridiculous.
No, I kind of agree. It should definitely be under £1,000.
Oh, and when you get to the next thing that you're doing, I see it's getting ready. We have officially titled him Juicy, not Juicy as his name is. Okay.
Well, he does have a juicy butt.
He will do when he goes to prison.
Oh, that's not fair. I want it while he's a little bit tight.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, would
He
you
knows me
like to
too
move
well.
to juicy fruit?
Yes, let's talk about the juicy Smollett. So Empire Juicy, freed on bail after staging racist attack over salary. This is the reason why I picked the story. Because remember, everybody was trying to find out the motives of why this attack may or may not have happened. Turns out he just wanted more money. All the
What a shock.
socialists, yeah, all the socialists and all the people that believed him, an intersectional feminist that believed him because he was a black gay man. Nah, he didn't have a clue about what your ideologies were or anything else like that. He just wanted money. Just money.
Yeah. The problem is this absolute genius has actually done a lot more damage than people actually understand. Because now, anytime anybody actually is going to make a report of attacks like this, they're automatically going to be disbelieved. They're automatically going to be assumed to be up to something. So, thanks to him, he has just made it a damn sight harder for genuine victims of attacks like this.
No, I completely agree. I mean, anybody that wears a noose for over 2 hours waiting for the police, you can kind of guess that that may be a forced statement.
Yes. Well, from what I've heard, apparently it was like minus 20 Fahrenheit, and these people were wearing MAGA hats and just happened to have the bleach and things ready on them. Yeah, really. It's not like there was anything suspect about anything the guy said, was it?
What do you mean? All mega hats, all mega hat people have bleach on them.
Yeah, sure. Well, like I say, the man has ruined it for people. I don't mean to be overly nasty to him, but he deserves what he's about to get. And I genuinely hope he is put in a suitable prison for people that do things like this. I hear Georgia's got some wonderful prisons that would love to have him there.
Yeah, boy. No, but I completely and utterly agree with you. I mean, to be honest, with the case of Juicy Smollett, it's a case of the whole premise of the story was just immensely retarded from the beginning. You're saying that you're in a massively built up area, in a affluent area. You have absolutely no food in your cupboards or in your fridge. Now, don't get me wrong. I know some people don't, but remember, this is a guy that probably doesn't do his own shopping. I'll just put
Yeah,
that out there because he's going to get somebody else to do it. But if he doesn't do if he does do his own shopping, if he does, then he would have known that there was no food in there from a day before or 2 days before or whatever. He would have known, just like most fucking single men. Even if the whole house looks absolutely distraught of furniture or absolutely in a mess, the one thing that a single man will have in his house, regardless of sexual orientation, is food.
yes. You know, it's not like that's kind of vital to survival or anything.
Well, it's not even that. It's a case of every man, regardless of if he lives with somebody or doesn't live with somebody, that is what men normally go out and fucking buy when they go shopping. Regardless of sexual orientation, that is what you go out to do when you do shopping. You buy food.
Yeah, yeah.
I just
Hell,
never got that.
no, I agree with you, mate. Plus, of course, there was the whole thing about, living in said affluent area. It's not like they don't have one or two CCTV cameras. Apparently, it's one of the more observed areas of the city, and
Yeah.
somehow none of this was seen. Well, all I can say is, were it somehow true, I personally would think that these people that did it were some sort of masterminds. They must have been able to hack in to these all of the CCTV cameras and all of the other cameras, because after all, every single ATM has cameras in it. So it's not just the cameras you see on street corners, etc. Pretty much everywhere you go and watch, and somehow these two white MAGA hat wearing gentlemen were able to avoid being seen.
Yep.
Well, I mean, you know, I'm trying not to quote too much from things that MC has said because it's things he said, but full credit to him. He actually pointed out perhaps they had some sort of TARDIS and were able to teleport in, get him, teleport back out.
Yeah.
I actually
It
agree.
makes more fucking plausible sense than the story that was actually given. The thing that really got me with his story was, yeah, I didn't have any food in my fridge and in my home, so I went out at 2 o'clock to go to a fucking Subway because Subway are 24 hours. Even though the shop that was in his affluent area wasn't a 24-hour fucking Subway and was closed at the time, he alleged that he was going to get and I quote, a salad from Subway.
Yeah, sure, whatever. But we know that the guy was okay. I'm just going to be blunt. Was talking out of his ass, and please
I
try not.
agree. I agree. Do you know the one thing that really got me straight away, apart from the bleach and the fucking the noose that apparently the mega hat people always carry around with them, obviously, was the fact that he was ravagingly hungry. Right, he woke up at 2 o'clock and was rummaging around his rooms and his house to be able to get something to eat. And when he finally went out to go and get something, he, after being ravagingly hungry, fancied a salad.
Yeah, good point. Actually, it's don't get me wrong. I'm not going to talk against salads and their nutritional value. I understand that they are quite good, but let's be blunt. When you're hungry, you're generally go. Oh God, my next line. I just looked forward and saw how bad this next comment is. Please do not take it with any sort of homophobic statement. But basically, when you're that hungry, you want to go out and get some meat to shove in your mouth.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I want some meat. I want some meat. I'll give me a good long sausage.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah. We turned into an ASM stream.
Haven't we? Let's try and bring it back to something vaguely sensible.
All right. So authorities claims he faked the assault because he was dissatisfied with his salary. No, it's not claimed. It's almost proven fact as he's admitted it. He appeared in Chicago court where a judge set bail at $100,000 or £77. And that's the media circus that was around at that point in time. So Smollett was then surrounded by a throng of reporters and camera crews as he left the hearing after being released, which had nothing to do with the amount of interviews and everything that he received afterwards, which was amazing considering that he kept on saying that he never wanted to report it to the police to begin with, but then was completely and utterly open to doing every and any form of interview that was thrown in his lap.
Yes, nothing suspect there at all. Sounds perfectly valid. I mean, how could anyone doubt this gentleman?
Oh, but Jensen, but I'm telling the truth. And because I'm telling the truth, you know it's the truth. By the way,
Ah,
that's a direct quote from an interview that he did with, I believe, CNN or ABC. Sorry.
he is basically. It's okay. No. Let's say it properly. It sounds to me like he's trying to jump onto the saddlebags of the whole hashtag listen and believe,
Oh yeah,
and
cool.
managed to ruin that by doing this as well. So well done to him. He's really messing this one up.
Don't be silly. He was just using the system that the left to put into place to be able to form intersectionality, and was so believable that everybody on the left and the media, with the fact of the whole propaganda that's been used against Donald Trump and the rhetoric against Trump supporters, that apparently this was believable, that they honestly thought that there are mega hat wearing Nazis that would go around and carry bleach and a noose in minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit weather to string up a a gay black man because he was in a TV show. And yet, even though they carried the noose to wrap around his neck, and I'm not condoning or saying that they should have done this, but wouldn't try and hang him with the noose. They were racist enough to carry the noose around with them to put on his neck, but not racist enough to apparently actually lynch him. Again, not saying that that should have happened or condoning it, but just going by the length of the story, they were racist enough to carry the noose, but not use it for its intended purpose.
Yes, actually, talking about the noose, apparently, there's a wonderful American politician out there that has apparently decided it would be a good idea to have lynching now classed as a hate crime.
He
You
wasn't a
know,
politician. He wasn't a politician. He's a editor at a local newspaper in Alabama.
thank you. Oh my God, lynching is now a hate crime. No, lynching is a crime. You're not actually allowed to hang people, or at least not in, civilized parts of the world. I mean, let's be fair, there are probably places out there that lynching is still acceptable, but, in anything that wants to try and claim the word civilized, yeah, hanging people's bad, okay?
Unless they're gay and it's in Saudi Arabia.
Like I say, there are places out in the world where this isn't necessarily the case, and that's why I made the point of civilized. And yes, if the Saudi Arabians have a problem with what I say, again, please message me. Give me someone to chat to.
Yeah, I find this very, very interesting because Smollett was also sent a racist and homophobic threatening letter to the Fox studio where he works in Chicago before the alleged attack. Yes, you heard that correct. Smollett also sent a racist and homophobic threatening letter to the Fox studio where he works. He sent a racist, homophobic letter about himself to himself and wrote it himself.
Is this the same letter that was supposed to have a mysterious white powder on it? You heard about that?
I'm not 100% sure about that one, but I do know that this letter was apparently written with news clippings that said, "Die nigger."
Ah, yes. I can't see this as being a bad thing, It's not like that's going to irritate more than a few people than he originally planned. But hey, the guy wanted more money. How dare they not pay him more money upon demand?
Hey, don't think about it. He's a gay man in America. They don't get good opportunities or anything, especially in Hollywood.
Susie Monkey has just said, yeah, Harris is pushing an anti-lynching bill. Juicy protested with her.
Oh,
Yes. It's always good to read what they say in chat. You get to find out some very interesting thing.
only from Susie Monkey because she's the only one worth listening to.
Fair play, fair play.
Me love Susie Monkey. Me love her. Yeah. Anyway,
Sorry, carry on.
I was going to say the US actor took advantage of the pain and anger of racism to promote his career, said Mr. Johnson, adding Smollett paid 3,500 or £2,600 to two brothers at to stage the supposed hate crime. To just put that into perspective, he paid two brothers $3,500 to attack him. The cheapskate paid just think of this, paid, I can't even bother to work it out, but half of that to each of them.
Yeah. Also, apparently, in his defence, as he's such a poor person, he also paid for them to actually fly over from Nigeria over here, do the act, and then bugger off back home again.
I'm not sure he did, considering that one of the brothers actually worked on Empire with him as an extra.
Oh, very interesting, because that's something I have been hearing quite a few people saying. Thank you for that information, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, and apparently B would have done it for £10.
What, you would have beat off the black man?
Yeah, hey.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself, B. I couldn't help myself. Be prepared for Sunday.
However she chooses to make her money, that's up to her. But he paid definitely over the odds as far as B would be concerned. But then again, if she did it, it actually would have been a white person beating up a black person instead of, oh yeah, two black people beating up a black person. Oh, does that mean we're looking at black on black crime again? Interesting.
Don't be silly, that doesn't exist. That doesn't exist. You should know better than that. God damn you. Stop using facts and logic with people that don't want to use it.
I know, facts and logic, they're racist and sexist. And Tim Tarbuck says, my chat must be heard. I'm unverified and rent. So
I've given him a wrench.
Good.
Because now he can shut up and he can take the fact that he is now level pegging with everybody and his oppression is now equal to everybody else.
Nice.
So now just use meritocracy and just decide and fight amongst yourself who needs to be heard.
And I don't know if you saw it, but Susie is also saying that Juicy is now claiming that he has a drug problem. I would actually completely understand that because his actions were not taken by somebody that's even orbiting towards reality.
Yeah, I think he's looking for any and grasping at any straw that he can to be able to find his way out of not being able to go to prison. Because he's going to do exactly the same as Harvey Weinstein and say that he's got a problem. And instead of having actual physical repercussions, he's going to go to therapy and then be rehabilitated.
Oh, great. How to get away with doing stupid stuff like that. What is this bloody world coming to? Really?
Oh, it gets better. I thought what we'd do next. I thought that we would go on to YouTube's amazing decision, I suppose. The amazing decision that it is. Well, let's listen to what they say rather than me giving any sort of premise behind it. So the story stems from this person beginning a conversation with YouTube. So just wait a second so I can actually get to the page that I want to. So she has a 5-year-old son that does gymnastics and she oversees, obviously, the YouTube channel. It's not done as any sort of form of sex or anything else like that. Not at all. It's done as gymnastics and whatnot. So she writes to YouTube, my 5-year-old son does gymnastics and is a happy, sweet, confident boy. YouTube, not advertiser friendly, as in they were demonetizing the gymnastics, which he has never done anything prerogative or anything else of that. He's just a child doing gymnastics. This happened yesterday. I find the timing of this very, very disheartening for the YouTube community. Now, me, myself, I could go either way on this as an idea. The reason why I could go either way on this for the idea is Well, some people might say, well, it could be race. It could be pedophilic, or it could be something along that aspect. You know, people can use this as a way of getting child porn, stuff like that. But then we go to YouTube's response, which I will get to because I am a boomer and I do everything amazingly slow. So please bear with me. Hello, guys. I'm back again. And now we share with this, which is YouTube's response, which is one of two. Hi there. For reference, over the past few days, we've taken a number of actions to better protect the YouTube community from content that endangers minors. Here is a tweet from Philly D for more context, because everything that ever happens on YouTube is obviously orchestrated and needs to be defended by Philly D. Obviously, Philip DeFranco, for anybody that somehow doesn't know who Philly D is. So we then go to Philly D's tweet, which will go to the TLDR, which is disabled comments on tens of millions of videos, terminated over 400 channels, reported illegal comments to law enforcement. So let me just go through the first part of this. YouTube have disabled comments on tens of millions of videos. They have disabled the comments, not the comments that were bad, but they have disabled the comment section for tens of millions of videos. They have also terminated over 400 channels. Now, I do not know what these channels are. I don't know. But let's just say that 3/4 of them were to do with child porn. Let's just say that as an indicator, for instance. That means 100 channels could have been completely and utterly terminated for no justified reason, even at that aspect. So now we read the last little bit. We appreciate you raising awareness of this with your fans, and that you realize all of us at YouTube are working incredibly hard to root out horrible behavior on our platform by way of an update. In the last 48 hours, beyond our normal protections, we disabled comments of tens of millions of videos and everything that we've just basically said. So after that bit, we go back to the original tweet. Hopefully it still pops up. Great. So that's amazing. I don't have to go through everything. So we then go from 2 of 2. And this is the bit that completely and utterly destroys every sort of fundamental belief system that I ever had in YouTube whatsoever. With regard to the actions that we've taken, even if your video is suitable for advertisers by YouTube standards, which as we know is very, very low at this moment in time. Sorry, not low. I mean, extremely fucking impossible. Inappropriate comments, yes, you heard that correctly. Inappropriate comments could result in your video receiving limited or no ads. In other words, being demonetized for what people say in your comment section.
Okay, I'm just going to butt in here and point out, not that this could be absolutely abused by people. It's not like you could get groups of people to come together, all go to certain specific creators and say the wrong words, instantly demonetizing these people. No, I can't see this being abused whatsoever.
See, the thing is with this, I understand the principle. The principle is that they have decided to try and do this because that they wanted to try and protect children, or trying to stop a perceived paedophile ring that's watching these type of children do suggestive things, for instance. I don't really understand all of that aspect of it. The kids doing gymnastics, a kid's fucking doing gymnastics. So I don't really understand that aspect of it. But I suppose in certain people's eyes, it could look provocative. I don't fucking know. But I do understand where they're coming from. But the overreaction is they're doing stuff on our channel and on our own platforms. So we're going to hinder the actual creators rather than actually going after the people that are perpetrating this or using things in the wrong aspect. So if they then see videos that are re-uploaded, or if they see commenters saying that this is good for CP or good for child porn, then it would be a case, in my esteemed opinion, that you would want those comments there. No, listen. Not because that you want to support the child porn or the paedophile, but because you want to see where the paedophiles are, report the accounts, go to the IP address, and arrest the wankers that are fucking doing the proverbial.
Agree. And yet, YouTube, in their infinite wisdom, allows the creator of a stream to turn on the cameras of people that are on his stream. That's whatsoever. I can't see anything. No, I can't actually continue that lie. That's ridiculous. If they're allowing that to occur and yet they're completely removing streams because of the comments that people make, that is ridiculous. I completely agree. They should have left it on, tracked the people down, and sent the police round to arrest them. After all, the best way to get rid of all of these various paedophiles, etc., is to put them away. Though, in all fairness, I have my own opinion on that. And yes, it doesn't.
Cooperation would be a good alternative. I completely and utterly agree with you on that one. But the thing is with people like YouTube or companies like YouTube, they are so worried about what the perceived ramifications would be about child porn or child pedophilia on their platform that they completely and utterly destroy it. The thing is, if they had a good media outsourced team, then they would know that if they were seen attacking the actual pedophiles, as in how we have suggested that they go after the actual pedophiles and the accounts made by pedophiles to watch these provocative things or whatever, then they would be seen as social justice heroes, even to the conservatives as well as the left. They would completely and utterly win over the creators, the advertisers, and governments. But the way that they chose to do it was completely and utterly destroy faith in the creators, demonetize the platform in which they are going through, stopping interaction that would also occur with advertisers and the people that are using the platform, and letting pedophiles go.
Yeah,
I don't understand life anymore. I want to get off this planet.
Well, again, we're back to my whole genocide concept. It's looking better and better, let's be honest. And again, these are the thoughts and opinions of me, not the Common Sense Guy and his channel.
Because I cannot confirm or deny that I agree.
Publicly.
That's why I said I cannot confirm or deny. Oh. See, these are the stories that really annoy me. Because is that doxing? I'm guessing means of destruction means about the fact of YouTube sending the information to the police, because all they'd have to do is send the account name and who the email address was to the police. They could then actually go after the pedophiles and do the IP address and all that sort of stuff. I wasn't suggesting YouTube send the IP address. I was saying that YouTube should be sending all of the relevant information they can do to the police or relevant services to do what they need to do, which means that they would still hold their respectability and confidentiality laws, because the police would be the ones looking where they need to go.
Yeah. So I wouldn't worry too much about memes. He does like to come out with these absolutely wonderful questions that just make most people scratch their head. Or, of course, Cabbage Patch Bastard and MC to start shrieking at him. Yeah, personal choice which one you want to do with that. And as for we should avoid genocide, again, it would deal with an awful lot of the problems this planet has. I'm just putting that out there.
No, I can still not confirm or deny. But I mean, I wasn't saying that there isn't, because I've been reading the chat as well. I wasn't saying that there isn't a softcore porn pedophilia problem on YouTube. I'm not saying there isn't. I'm actually saying that even if there is, not use it, but the fact is that it's happening. Arrest the people that are using it as such, for the ones that are commenting on it and promoting it as such. Because otherwise, all you're doing is putting people back into the darkness again. Anything that you want to do to get rid of, as we've always said, sunlight is the best disinfectant. And in this case, using people that have already decided that they are going to promote whatever ideology they have, or orientation, or mental health condition, whatever way you want to use to describe with that horrible fucking thing, then use it. Get them arrested so they can get the help or the prosecution that needs to happen. Because what's most important is the protection of the children, not the protection of the site, not the protection of the YouTube creators, not the protection of people in general, but the children. That's the most important thing. And the way you protect the children is by getting pedophiles out and off of the street.
Agreed. Completely.
Oh, right. Does anybody else, or do you, Jensen, have anything else that you want to talk about on this story or in general?
No, I think this one has been covered quite nicely. We've both put out our opinions, and well, as we know, Google is listening.
It is, very much so. It is. I will give the chat one or two more chances to decide what the question is, why I'm setting up the last story. So if you want to ask a question on what I think is going on, or what I should be thinking is going on, or anything else to do with that, then this is your chance to be able to ask that question and get your opinion or me, senpai, to be noticed. And apparently my computer doesn't want to share my fucking thing, which is going well. Or it's just decided that it's going to break. Can we work? No, it's decided to fuck up. Amazing. Right, so how's everybody doing? Apparently I can't get to the last story because it doesn't really want to work for me, apparently.
Again,
Nothing.
we're back to Google monitoring us.
I can't. My computer's so bad at this moment in time. It doesn't want to work. I have gone to link to an application window because I always pull off all of the tabs so I can do it separate, so I can have a look at the chat generally. And it has stuck on what I'm actually doing at this moment in time. It has stuck on it. I don't know if I can. It's not letting me do anything.
Well, Memes has probably a very important question. What is your favorite color? Oh my God, properly as well. I've just realized an American spelled color properly. Well done, Memes.
Oh, have you come back? Or is it just Hangouts that's not working?
No, seems to be working well. You know, you're still, you're still there. We can still hear you. It just seems that they don't like whatever your last story is.
Right, I am going to quickly leave my own stream because this is an important story and I want to fucking cover it. So I'm going to quickly leave my own stream and I will be back from the link that I've already sent out to Mr. Jensen. So if you wouldn't mind just covering what you think's the favorite thing, then I will try and get back as soon as possible.
Yep, no problem, mate. Well, B Quinn has asked me to shill her harpoon. Yes, that's right. My dear sister has actually got a GoFundMe to buy a proper harpoon gun. She promises that she only wants to fit it to her spaceship. Don't ask where she's getting the spaceship from.
Spaceship.
But yes. So there you go, B. I have shilled your harpoon GoFundMe. Be happy. And to answer memes, I have to say my favourite colour would either be black or green. And funny enough, it is a mix of the two because I do flip between the two depending on my mood at that exact moment. Hopefully that has answered your question, sir. Right, let's see now. Brandon wants to know, can we cuddle after the stream CSG? I, you know, That's between you two. I'm not going to judge. I hope you have a nice time having a cuddle. B is suggesting a pizza bath with CSG after the show. Well, that's up to you. Just remember, don't put pineapple on your pizza because apparently this offends an awful lot of people. It is true, I do like lilac sometimes. I'm not afraid to say I'm quite comfortable with the pastel colours. So, any other questions?
Yay!
Jack. Can we explain the disappearance of Sir Ogre? What I can tell you is I have seen him putting tweets out over the past couple of days, so we know he is still alive. But no, I haven't actually been in contact with him, and it's quite fascinating watching two of you on the same stream.
Yeah, now there's only one of them.
I'm looking at two pictures, sir.
Give it a second.
See. It's twice the CSGs. There you go. Back down to one. It's twice the CSG head out between B and Brandon. That's actually really nice of the guy. I think you should all hit like just because he's been that nice. Are you back?
You can all cuddle me after the stream, and B, the pizza bath is just for me and you. Stop trying to share me. You know that it's just me and you forever, baby.
And it seems you've got your little bit of data up. Well done.
I can do this. It just takes me a while. It's a unit system. Anybody that's ever watched Jurassic Park knows exactly the reference I just made. So yeah, the story is 7 MPs have left the Labour Party in protest of Jeremy Corbyn's leadership. I'm going to be really horrible, and some people may call me misogynistic, but I would just like to direct people to where my mouse is, and I'm not sure if that's a stomach or if that's droopy stuff.
Oh wow!
I'm not sure.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to judge.
I wasn't asking you to judge. I was just trying to get you to make a comment.
God damn, bitch! You need to wear a bra. Okay, there you go. That is my comment. And if she is wearing a bra, wow.
Yeah, if she is wearing a bra, she needs to send that fucker back.
Yes. And to Tim, MP is Member of Parliament. That's what the British call the idiots that think they're in charge.
Or massive pillock.
Yeah, true. I can't disagree with that as a description. Again, for the people that think they're in charge.
Fair enough. So, 7 MPs have resigned from the Labour Party in protest of Jeremy Corbyn's approach to Brexit, and most importantly, the anti-Semitism. For us, normal people. They are, to be fair, I'm not really bothered about who they are. Miss Beggar said that Labour had become institutionally anti-Semitic. These are people that are inside Labour that have been Labour supporters and Labour MPs for fucking years that are coming out and saying that they are institutionally becoming anti-Semitic under Jeremy Corbyn's leadership. Whether Jeremy Corbyn is anti-Semitic, I suppose at this point is still up for debate. Me personally, I've kind of made my decision on it, hence why I've done a video on it beforehand. But it's still up for debate. But the fact is that's not up for debate is how the Labour Party has now become anti-Semitic, especially with the way that it was to talk about Jews in the latest election that happened in 2017. Do you have anything to add to this, Mr. Jensen?
Yes, actually, more of them should have resigned. But then again, I have my own opinions on the Labour Party and very specifically Jeremy Corbyn. And as I'm trying my level best not to swear, it's probably best I don't go on too much about how I feel about that jackass.
Damn it, he swore. To be fair, I mean, I'm trying to take my own feelings for Jeremy Corbyn out of this completely and utterly. I'm only human though, so it's not going to really work. But the thing is with this is that I'm trying to show you that Labour themselves are so far down the rabbit hole with Jeremy Corbyn that their own party members, regardless of the people that support Labour, which, by the way, are actually leaving in drones, and so many people are saying that they will never vote Labour while Jeremy Corbyn is in charge because of all of this as well, by the way, that this is absolutely shocking. That some people would say that this is to do with Brexit. Me personally, this is nothing to do with Brexit. This is all to do with anti-Semitism and everything that's going on with anti-Semitism at this moment in time. Almost all of those 7 that originally come out, and there's a couple of more, I think it's up to 9 Labour MPs have resigned now. And all of them have come out and said that they do not like the way that Jeremy Corbyn has taken the Labour Party under his stewardship and have said something along the lines of hating the way that the Labour Party is treating its members and its MPs and not dealing with it. And that's just worrying to me that so many people that are still, because there's a Twitter account called Young Labour UK, and they are still completely and utterly behind Jeremy Corbyn, saying that I should have got the tweet to be fair, but we're saying that they actually support Jeremy Corbyn, and all of these traitors that are leaving should be expelled from the party regardless anyway. Not that they should be sorting out the reason why the fucking people are leaving. No, that doesn't bloody matter. But they should be expelled for being traitors and leaving in the first place.
How dare you disagree with anything that the Labour leaders are saying? My God.
It's funny that you bring that up, even though that you're joking. It's funny that you bring that up because there is a Pledge of Allegiance. And I see that literally to become a member of parliament or to represent Labour, where you have to sign a piece of paper that actually has, you will respect and follow Jeremy Corbyn's leadership regardless. And obviously I'm paraphrasing, but that's the gist of what it says. You have to sign that to be able to become a Labour representative.
Wow. Oh my God, this is that's ridiculous. Okay, this is now. I mean, I like to consider these people a joke at the best of times, but this is now becoming a joke that isn't funny.
Completely agree with you. Labour pledge Jeremy Corbyn. I just want to see if I can actually find it. That's not how you spell Corbyn. You think I would know now after the millions of videos that I've done? Oh, they fucking got rid of it.
Oh, damn.
I can't find it.
Though, so as there's no dead air, the fact that this much anti-Semitism is being levelled at the party. Okay, I understand the concept of listen and believe, etc. But there is also the thing of there is no smoke without fire. There is too much anti-Semitism being levelled at Labour. People really need to look into this stuff. This is getting ridiculous. How can they get away with it? Oh, that's right. They know the right people.
Yeah, it's not who you know, it's what you know. I mean, it's not what you know, it's who you know. I still haven't found it.
And question for you, CSG, from Tim.
Yeah.
I have a question. What's CSG's avatar about? Lol.
My avatar is the fact that my lord and basically the person who looks after me and treats me and everything else like that is my cat Emma. She is my overlord, and she is the one who controls the common sense guy. She is the one who is literally the one who is in control of everything that I have ever said or ever done. So that's where the avatar comes from. That, to be fair, that is about 1.5 years old.
Yep, that's fair. And in all fairness, it also means that you're actually a reverse furry. Because after all, it's a cat wearing you instead of you wearing the fur of an animal. So I can respect this. I hope that answers your question, Tim. Yep, he says thank you. So awesome.
Yeah, no worries. Anybody else got any other questions while I'm still looking for this? Because I really want to try and find it, because otherwise it makes me look like a.
Unfortunately, we've got B who is clapping for Emma, but that's not really a surprise. B does like animals.
She does look a bit of pussy.
I wasn't going to say that, but I'm glad someone did. So, unfortunately, no other questions at this point. Come on, people, you've got to have questions. This is a chance to pick his mind, or at least pick the mind of his cat, in this case. After all, yeah.
Rex or an Allosaur?
Good choice on the Allosaur, actually.
Yeah.
Not many people pick that one. I'm glad you did.
Or Gigantosaurus, as it's twice the size of the T-Rex and killed a lot more than what the T-Rex did.
Fair play. I'm actually very glad you didn't go for Brontosaurus, seeing as it doesn't actually exist.
Yes.
That would have. Oh,
I know. I just see it from Susie Monkey. That's why I said Susie Monkey is the best person ever in the world.
Did you see Tim has asked how your studies are going?
I did not. No, I did not. I did not see that. My studies are going okay. At this moment in time, we're doing a group class project. So there's supposed to be a group of 6 of us. We've managed to go down to a group of 4 of us. People have been dropping out like fucking flies, apparently only in my group. I'm pretty sure it has nothing to do with me.
Sure. Memes has pointed out, I still remember the day the Chinese murdered Bubbles. If this makes any sense to you, do explain, but apparently the Chinese are not a fan of Bubbles.
I have no idea.
Okay, cool. It's not just me then. I was wondering if it was a weeb comment that I was missing.
Yeah, I have no idea. Unfortunately, I cannot find that either, by the way, Susie Monkey. I cannot find it. I will have another look for it anyway. So, I'll do it at another time. But the most important thing I wanted to get on and do... Am I still sharing?
Nope. Hold up one sec.
Yeah, I'm still sharing. I'm sharing what I'm sharing now. So let's stop sharing. Obviously, we have the independent group, 3 MPs that are from the Tory party have quit as well. I'm not too bothered about the fucking hypocrisy in 2 of the MPs, especially Shoebury and bloody the fucking Wollaston. Both of them should all of these people that have left their parties, by the way, regardless if they're Tory or Labour, should all stand for a by-election. All of them, regardless. The reason why is that they are standing down mainly due to Brexit, especially with the Tories. And most of the Tories that are now leaving Tories are from Leave constituencies. And now they voted for a Conservative government that was supposed to take them out on a manifesto. And now those MPs, both Labour and Tories, are now independents. They now didn't vote for the party that they wanted, which means that there should be a by-election for those constituencies. Simple as.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, actually, I completely agree with you on that one. Interesting.
You may hear something at this moment in time from the background because I'm setting something up. And yes, you can hear that it's that woman. The reason why I'm setting it up and wanting to play this woman is because it's the last story, and unfortunately, it is the one that I really want to get to because Anna Soubry completely. Well, let me actually get to what we're doing, shall we? Rather than me just keep on trying to edge your bet, so to speak. And yes, here comes Anna Soubry, and you're going to have to deal with it. So shut your face. So we're now presenting to everybody, so it doesn't matter who speaks. But this is Anna Soubry for the reason why she left the Conservative Party. So let's listen to the reason why she left and the implications that come from that, shall we? Oh, hang on just a second. I will rewind it. I will sort it out because that's really fucking low. Let me just see if I can get that done. Let me know if you can hear this.
I said to her, because I thought I have to say this thing to her, because one day I will have this sort of...
Can we hear it?
And I said to her,
I can. Hopefully, chat will answer.
That's all right. Right. Let's have a look at chat very, very quickly because I can do that, because I'm a unit system. Apparently, I can't do that because apparently I didn't fucking pull that apart. So apparently, I can't do that. So, has the chat been able to say that it's heard it or not?
The best you've got, kinda.
Okay, well, we're going to have to just do the kind of. There are subtitles there, so read the subtitles if you can, if you're watching the video. I will pause it when I'm going to make a statement so I don't talk over her.
I said to her, because I thought I have to say this thing to her, because one day I will have this sort of conversation. And I said to her, I don't understand. Why don't you grasp the single market and the customs union?
And the reason why we won't grasp the customs union and the single market is because that's not a Brexit. Because to be part of the single market and to be part of the customs union, you have to agree to freedom of movement and all the other tenets of being part of the European Union, which includes losing your sovereignty and having the European Court of Justice in charge of your sovereignty. Anything to add to that, Mr. Jensen?
To be but apart from simply put, I agree. The moment you start handing over your sovereignty, yeah, you've pretty much given up at this point. And I'm hoping that Britain hasn't quite fallen that far yet.
That's fine, not a problem. I completely not agree with you. Let's hope that they haven't. So obviously, she's going to start off with, it's what British business needs, and you probably know it will solve the problem, going on to Northern Ireland.
Know it's what British business needs, and you know it will solve the problem over the border between the Republic and Northern Ireland. And
very, very quickly, the problem with the border in the Republic Island and Northern Ireland is solely a European Union problem, meaning there is a European Union that wants a border there and requires a border there. Not the UK and not the Republic of Ireland and not Northern Ireland that require it. It is the European Union that requires a border there. Let them deal with the border.
Agree.
Anything else to add on to that, Mr. Quinn?
No, actually, I'm in complete agreement with that. They're the ones that have got this issue, so let's make them pay for it. Oh, that's right. They're not going to be able to do that because after we leave, one of the major funders of the EU will be going. And, well, the EU is doomed. I would strongly suggest that what the British should do is actually put word out saying, when this absolute shit heap drops, we're more than happy to consider bringing people into a Commonwealth, send in your applications, we're good, and we won't treat you like complete idiots the way these people have. But that's my opinion.
And I would have to say I actually completely and utterly agree with that opinion, believe it or not. And I think that the Commonwealth would be a very good idea for most of the world to be able to trade under. Because guess what? The Commonwealth is stipulated by World Trade Organization rules. The same thing as every single deal that has ever been made is fundamentally decided at the beginning and has the foundation of World Trade Organization rules. It is only things that are added onto that foundation that make the deals independent from it. Just so people can realize that. So let's carry on with Crazy Woman.
You can win it in Parliament. You go over the heads of the front bench, you reach out to the Chukwuemunas and the Chris and you would win a majority, and at the same time, you would deliver a fatal blow to the Labour Party.
Very, very, very quickly, because it doesn't really matter too much. How would you deliver a blow or a fatal blow to the fucking Labour Party if you're trying to go over the heads of your own front bench and convince Labour Party members to vote with you? That means that Labour Party, regardless of policy, helped you achieve the policy that you wanted. That does not fatally wound a party that helped you.
Yeah.
And she said to her as well.
And I said it to her, and she almost looked at me as if I was alien. And I thought,
I can't think why she would think of you as an alien for trying to say that you need to get a separate party to be able to back you for trying to mortally wound the opposite party. It kind of completely and utterly defies any form of logic.
I agree. You going to press play?
just don't get me, do you? And she came back and she said, well, she says all this, and I say to speeches, why is she so against the custom union? Because we've got to do our own trade deals, because we do lots of trade deals, as you know. And
I wasn't fucking speaking there, was I?
No, I was wondering. I thought something had gone wrong.
It did, unfortunately, yeah. The thing is with trade deals is that we don't actually complete our own trade deals. Yes, we can make our own trade deals, but we don't complete them. The reason why we don't complete them is because all of the deals need to be ratified by the European Union and need to be ratified by the Commission. Now, if they're not ratified by the Commission and the European Union in general, then guess what? You don't have a fucking deal, which means that they are in control of the deals that we make by proxy. They may not be directly influencing in who we can and cannot trade with, but it's their final decision whether or not we complete the trade deal or not. That's the reason why people want to make our own trade deals, and why you're so wrongly trying to say that we do make our own trade deals. We do not, because they are not ratified by the United Kingdom. They are ratified by the European Union. And this final thing is absolutely amazing. Wait until you hear this, my friends. Wait until you hear this.
the other thing, and this is really important, Christian, do to give me, the only reason why she will not agree to a single market is because of free movement of people. And I think what's really worried me about Theresa and the history in the Home Office that supports this, because I'm an old barrister, I look at the evidence, and I think she's got a problem with immigration.
Yeah, you heard that right. She's trying to say that she thinks Theresa May, now as a staunch Remainer, remember she's still a staunch Remainer, and is trying to implement democracy, is trying to say that this person is racist. Like she has a prejudice towards fucking immigration.
This woman, I'm sorry, I just wanted to put that out there.
But the thing is with this woman, this Anna Soubry, I mean, I can't be asked with the rest of it because there's no fucking point. But that's the reason why I chose to put this at the end. That this woman, Anna Soubry, has basically come out and tried to say that all of the people that are, let's say, leaving their parties because they don't like Brexit. She's now saying that all of these people that are leaving their parties because they don't like Brexit are now racist because they are now trying to do what the country and the United Kingdom as a whole voted on democratically. And what they voted on democratically was to leave the European Union. Again, this does not mean leave Europe. It means leave the political union of the European Union. The thing that I always find really interesting about most staunch Remainers is that they don't want us to leave the European Union, but they're okay with Scotland leaving our political United Kingdom union. Now, I personally don't care. If Scotland want to leave, then let them leave. I don't really care. I think that that's their a right to be able to decide if they want to do that or not. But it's funny, and I think it's paradoxical thinking, or double think, if you want to use the correct term, of people that are Remainers that still support somebody leaving another political union. I find that exceptionally interesting.
Again, we're back to the whole hypocrisy of politics there. But you know, to be fair, mate, you are correct. It is absolutely fascinating. Britain is not allowed to leave the EU, but if Scotland wants to go, good luck, guys. Off you go. Have fun.
Yep.
What?
Which again, we're not saying that Scotland can't do that. We're just pointing out the paradoxical thinking from them.
I have to say, one thing that did absolutely entertain the living hell out of me with that was one thing the EU actually said that did make me chuckle. When Scotland said, that's it, we're going to have our referendum and leave, and we're just going to join the European Union. And the European Union turned around and said, no, you're not. That was brilliant. That was probably the one thing they said that actually brought a smile to my face.
Yeah, no, I completely not agree. It's absolutely amazing that, oh yeah, we're going to go join the EU. No, they said that you're going to be at the back of the queue. Yeah, but you know, we're going to join the EU. No, you're back of the queue, which means you're even further behind Turkey, which, you know, Turkey's never going to join the European Union.
Good
the same
point.
thing as there was never an army that was in production or thinking.
Yes, that whole thing with the European army, that still makes me chuckle, especially when you get people that sit there, no, that's not what we're asking for. That's not what we're asking for. Oh, that is what we're asking for.
Yeah.
Damn it.
From Germany and France, yeah. From Germany and France, yeah. Yeah, we support this. Wait, weren't you the people that were literally coming out and saying that this would never happen and you're going to support it? Okay.
Yeah, but let's be fair. They're probably going to claim that we're being racist for remembering things soon. So, you know, we don't want to go around remembering facts and information said. So after all, that would make us bad people.
It's funny that you say that, because the whole point of why I played Anna Soubry's interview, regardless of if you could hear it or not, and I'm sorry if you couldn't, but the reason why I played it is because Anna Soubry's political points and the reason why she's so famous at the minute is solely because she keeps on calling everybody that voted for Brexit racist. Have you noticed that? All the yellow jackets that are in London they're all racist. They don't represent the Britain that I remember, that I supported. All the people that are in her constituency that voted to leave are now racist and don't deserve to have a constituent, an MP that actually represents them, apparently. So now she's left. Now she's trying to say that Theresa May is now against immigration, so she's a racist. Amazing how that seems to be everybody's go-to fucking political point now, isn't it? That everything that I disagree with is racist.
A wee bit too much use and turning it into now, which is actually really bad because it actually takes away from the seriousness that is genuine racism.
Yep. I can't go any further than what's already there, unfortunately. So I think this is coming to the end of the stream because I think we've been going for 2 hours and 2 hours and 15 minutes at this moment in time. So a good time to decide to call it quits. I am going to open up any questions to the chat. If you have any questions regarding anything, doesn't have to be about today or anything else of that, but I will let Jensen Quinn go first with any questions in general if he does have any, and then moving on to his final word.
Well, I would bring one quite important question that Tim asked. What's wrong with Scotland? And be responded with, it's full of Scots. In all fairness, this is true. We can't actually say she's lying. She's not that she's suggesting there's anything wrong with the Scots, but, you know, Scotland is full of the Scots, so her statement is accurate if borderline racist.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now, as for my final words, first of all, Google. Really, seriously, people, someone needs to stop what Google is doing. Why are people not banding together and actually trying to stop this? It's got beyond a joke. It is no longer funny. Google is taking the piss with what it gets away with. For God's sake, people in power that somehow end up hearing this, stand up to Google. They are not the overlords that they are becoming. Stop them now before it goes too far. That is my final words.
Okay, absolutely no problem. Thank you very much for your final words. Absolutely. I think it was a very good way to be able to do that. I think it was quite an interesting point. I would just like to go through a couple of little bits with everybody if nobody else has got any questions or anything else like that. The things that I would like to point out to everybody is you have Google, as Johnson Quinn has said, that is going out of their way to dictate to society and keep societal norms in the way in which they want to. They can do this with the idea of keeping hold of information. They can do that with the fact of trying to make applications that help government monitor you and make sure that they can hold on to what they perceive as criminal actions. The government, not Google. You also then have Google that are actually deleting history or can delete history because of your personal freedoms apparently to be forgotten. Whether or not that's true, I don't really care. I don't really know. I don't think it's a right to be forgotten in that aspect. But that's besides the point. You then move on to the fact of Juicy. And I say Juicy as in Smollett. You then move on to people like him that are now using the narrative that has been built up by the left predominantly, that people that have a political ideology are so racist, are so put over, so amazed by the fact that these people can do this, that nobody batted an eyelid about Juicy's story. Nobody gave a shit about fact-checking it before it happened. And it's amazing. It's amazing that no media outlet or media source decided to be able to do this. It's amazing to me that nobody wanted to fact check it. And yet, when it's proven that somebody like Jesse Smollett was completely and utterly lying, the media does a 180. Doesn't say, oh, it's absolutely irrehensible that somebody would play politics with the idea of pretending that a certain group of people are racist and discriminating. I use that one. Discriminating against a certain demographic of people because of their political ideology. And as Susie Monkey says in the chat, the Covington kids as well, the fact that somebody wore a mega hat and was basically standing there smiling at a veteran and as a Native American. Apparently that's worth news story. Not the fact that the Black Israelites, which is their title, was completely and utterly going against both the Native Americans and the Connington kids. In actual fact, spitting at the one or two black people that were in the Connington kids group and calling them house, you know, whats and whatnot, is absolutely amazing. That the media do not pick up on this and do not want to condemn those type of people. What do they want to do? They want to push a narrative. And moving on to narratives, you then come back to my country and the US in general, where everybody that disagrees with my political points of view are racists, are alt-righters, are Nazis in disguise, or whatever other multiple factual point, or factual point, sorry, that they want to put in to try and describe what you are, that is completely going to denigrate you, that is going to completely defame you, and possibly be a form of libel. Because all they're trying to do is attack you as the person, not your ideology, not what you think, not what the argument was, but you. You are the one that they want to attack for daring to think differently. You are the one that they want to attack for thinking different to them. To the point where today we saw about the US Berkeley, as in Berkeley University, the person that decided to punch the other kid because that kid dared to record what was going on in the mega hat. And that is acceptable in certain people's eyes, or on certain sides, should we say. That's acceptable to now do because of the connotations that you have now been othered. You are now a Trump supporter, or you are now a Brexiteer. You are now a racist, xenophobe person. You are now homophobic and transphobic. You are every other ism that is designed to other you for your political thought. And yet, nobody will speak out about it. Nobody will point out the fact that this is going on properly. They'll talk about it, but then they will drop it. And it's up to you, and yes, I'm using Anna and fucking Sarkeesian's fucking point on this. It's up to you to point it all out. Because if you don't point it out, the fucking media ain't. The people ain't. The people that are there to try and protect you, they're not going to. You need to defend yourself. You need to be able to look after yourself and point out the fact that you are right. So when you are challenged, don't back yourself away. Make sure that you provide the sources for what's going on and for what you believe in and what you think is politically correct in your mind. Don't let people grind you down. Fight back by factually pointing out that they're wrong and pointing out their hypocrisy when it comes to the fact of the tolerant left punching people on the perceived notion that they are Nazis. So with that being said, guys, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this stream. And thank you very much for taking the time to like this video if you have done, and for all of the other bits. Thank you very much, guys. And I'd just like to point this last little bit out, and hopefully it is not what I want. So never mind, fuck that shit. Bye, everyone. Thank you for taking care. Thank you for looking after me and making sure that I can do this stream and I have people to talk to. And thank you very much, Jensen Quinn, for actually coming on. Cheers, guys. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.